I'll be leading some training today. Hopefully, you've all familiarised yourself with the system prior. I'll make sure that everyone has all the contact information for support throughout delivery. I know that Lewis and Kelly try their best to help everyone with queries, but additionally, we do always have the support open. I'll do my best to give you guys a good overview of the site now, and any questions, Lewis and Kelly will pick those up at the end, so we can hopefully answer most of what you have now. And if there's anything that is specific to your communities, we can always pick those up following the call. So I will share my screen and I'll start running through the activities feature. The demo will touch on both free and paid sessions. So there's two ways that the forms will work, depending on whether you're running free and paid sessions or free only. So I'll try and touch on that. And if there is any clarity that you guys need following the call, then we can pick that up. That is the wrong screen. Can you guys see that all right? Perfect. So I'm going to go through one of our demo communities today, so it won't be specific to the Cornwall network, but the forms features, the rules, etc. They should all become clear as we go through the session. So you will all have your own community homepage. This will be the homepage where you can manage your community images, edit banner, and you can edit your logo here using the icons. It will be worth having a browse through your community settings when you have a minute. So behind the settings cog here is your community settings. So if you click edit, you'll be able to go through those. You might find some settings there that you will want on or off. They should be quite brief. They'll also let you update things like your community location, etc. You should be asked all of that through your community create, so you've likely already started with that. So all of you will need to create activities. So the activities feature should be turned on. You'll see the big green create button there. So once you open the activity create, this will be the base of all the activities that you're running. So make sure you select the physical activity tab, and you will likely want the session to be listed publicly. So what this setting does is it will ensure that it shows on the Active Cornwall activity finder. So users that come to the website, query and search for activities, as long as this is on, your activity should be listed. This is the first page will set up. So you'll title your activity. You can give some generic information, which will display. So you can choose an image, title of the activity. And you can select an activity type. So if you can't find one specific here, you can try typing the type of activity. It will likely come up. If you don't have one that you like, I would suggest choosing activity holiday camp. You can choose general. There's a few different activity types. This is more of a label, so it won't affect how your session is created or set up. You can give a quick description of your activity. And you have the opportunity to either upload a brief short video that will show on your activity homepage. So if you have any useful YouTube links, you can paste those here, or you can upload the video. I believe it will need to be in an MP4 format. A short video will show instead or alongside the activity image that you choose. And then the participant section is where you can give some general activity information. So if you do decide to select an age range here, the age range will be promoted on the Finder pages. The age range isn't enforced, so it doesn't act as a rule. So if a user enters their date of birth and they are 12, the age range isn't enforced. It is promoted. So when you're using the Finder filters, etc., if the filters are using age, they won't show to anyone who's looking for 12 in this example. You have the ability to then add some disability information. For other sports across the site, gender-specific sessions can be run, so you will likely leave this as mixed. And the same being for difficulty, this is generally used for sport-specific sessions. We do have the option for you guys to run an interested list. We're referring to it here as an overflow list. In short, what this will do is when an activity is full, should a parent be interested in the activity, if a space becomes available or additional spaces are provided, everyone who registers their interest when they book will be, or when they attempt to book, will have the option to put their name down on the interested list. As an admin, I'll touch on this in the pages following. You'll have the opportunity to send a post to anyone on the interested list. So the post will send a feed item in Playwaze and an email outside of Playwaze, and that will let the parents know that there is now space available. So you might choose to use this feature if you have some cancellations, or if you have increased capacity, you're able to let those people know. They've let you know they're interested, so they are likely to make a booking following that. The scheduling of the activity here might take a little bit of getting used to. So generally, if you're going to run 2 weeks across Christmas, and they do take place on different days, you should be able to schedule that all from this page in one attempt. So by selecting repeating, what you're doing is creating a session that will run on multiple days. So if you're running on the 22nd and 23rd of December, then select repeating. The template and the information that you've given here will house both of those activities. So the duration of the activity you will need to set here. The duration will need to be the same for both activities. And then you have the opportunity to set an organizer for the activity. So as community admins, you'll have privileges throughout your community that gives you access to reporting, data, exports. You might not want to give your organizer of an activity total control of your community. So what the organizer role here really does is gives you an option to make a member of your community able to manage and run a specific activity. So if you select anyone other than yourself, they'll have additional permissions which allow them to mark the registers, they can export the registers, they can manage the bookings for you, and they'll have key access to information that they need during the running of the activity day. You will have the option to put a limit on your session. So this is the max number of spaces that you're offering. So the site will not allow more than 15 bookings. And you'll be able to select a venue. So if you haven't already created the venue within the community homepage, if you open the venues tab from the navigation bar here, you'll have the option to create a venue. It will take one or two steps, and once you've created the venue, put the location in, the name, this will then show for selection. So select the venue that the activity is running on, and then you'll have an option to open and close your bookings. So what this will do is it will prevent or manage when the booking links can be accessed. So if you don't want your sessions to be booked more than 2 weeks in advance before your activity starts, you can put limits on this. Some providers will open bookings 2 weeks before the session runs, and they'll close their bookings 1 day before the activity starts. That gives them time to prepare for the session, so they won't get any bookings within 24 hours of the activity starting. And then the next step you'll need to take is to schedule your activity. So the scheduling for a Christmas example will likely need to repeat. So selecting your start date will be the first day at which a session can be created. So the 18th of December is selected here. If the sessions are repeating each week for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or you only want to set up 1 week's worth of session on these dates, then you can put a start and an end date or an until date on the activity schedule. So if I set this schedule from the 18th of December to run on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday until Christmas Eve, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday until Christmas Eve, there'll be a session scheduled. So in this example here, there will be a session on the 19th, 20th, and the 21st. That's the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And because the session is then stopped on the 24th, no more sessions will be created past that. If you are running sessions slightly different for another week in your delivery, you have the option to run an additional schedule. So the first schedule will create those 3 sessions on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then if you have sessions following Christmas, you can put a start and end date on those, and you can change the days that these sessions repeat. So if you are running sessions Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can leave the schedule like this. And what the schedule will do in the background, it will create 3 activities for this schedule and 3 activity dates on this schedule here. So they're ever so slightly different, but you can get as many schedules as you like. So for this 2-week period, if the dates don't quite match between the weeks, then you do have the option to add an additional schedule here. And then after the create, you should have the sessions you want. If the schedule does create sessions that you're not quite happy with, you can go back to the schedule edit. As long as you haven't taken any bookings on the sessions, the site will let you edit these. You do have an option as an admin to always cancel a session or hide an activity once you've created it if it's not quite ready for booking. If you've got a few amendments that you want to make, you will have the options to stop promoting that session. So I'll show you how to do that once we've gone through the create. And you will need to select a start time for the activity days. So once you've done this, you will be offered the opportunity to choose a booking form. So if you are taking 3 sessions only in the Cornwall network, you will have a booking form suggested for you. So it will be, I believe it's titled, let me just check that for you. I believe it's titled 3 bookings only. The form is automatically selected for you, so it's set as a default. You won't need to change anything. You'll see that the form is selected for you. You'll be able to see what the fields in the form are, and you'll simply just be able to continue. If you are going to take free and paid bookings, you can take the form off, so you can select no form, and this will let you then take and offer paid sessions. If you do have the free only form selected, the form has rules in the back end that mandate the use of a free school meal voucher code. So if someone is then trying to make a booking that's paid, so they're not going to use the code, because the form is selected, it will enforce that rule. So be careful when you are creating a session here. If you're going to take paid places, then take the form off. The next section is relevant if you are going to take payments. So if you're not going to take payments, you can leave the option as no. If you are going to take payments, you will need to register as the merchant of the community. So from the community homepage, you will have a payments feature. Click that from the nav bar, and you will be asked to link your community to a Stripe account. Hopefully the booking flow for Stripe is simple. It should take you a couple of clicks to connect that. So once you have registered as a merchant, you'll be able to select yourself in this list, and you'll be able to start setting up the cost for the bookings. You will need to set the full price for the session, so the highest amount that you're looking to charge. So you will probably likely be offering a paid price and a reduced price, i.e. free for free school meals. So set the cost of your activity here, and then you will need to offer a discounted price for those who have free school meal rules. So you can name the discounted price offering, and you can offer that for free by entering the price of 0. And then the network already has the discount rule for you, so you can select the free booking places. This will be named slightly different in the Cornwall network. It will be similar to free school meals. And then if you do offer a restricted number of free places, then you can put the restrictions on the number of spaces that you are offering for free here. And then you're able to continue through the flow. We do offer QR codes to track attendance for your activities. This does require parents to bring and have access to QR codes on the day. It's likely that you won't need this, so you can skip through the QR codes, and you have the option to set up some activity notifications. So you can send booking reminders and booking prompts. So for users who have booked a date in an activity, you can configure a booking prompt which will promote unbooked activities X number of days before they start. This one you will likely not find as useful for the Christmas delivery, because there are a restricted number of sessions or session dates, but throughout the summer the booking prompt can be quite useful. So if a parent books for the first week of summer and you're offering places throughout the holidays, you can promote to users or prompt users 5 days before an activity runs that they haven't booked, with a little notification that will pop up in their feed to remind them or to offer them an opportunity to book. A booking reminder is sent to anyone who has booked, so you can configure the date that you want these to send. So you can send these a day before your activity. Parents will receive a feed post and an email that remind them that they have a booking. So if you have additional places, the booking prompt is useful, and a booking reminder is used for anyone who has made that booking. It will let them know that the activity is still going ahead a day before. If you do have organisers set on your sessions that aren't administrators, you can remind them to track attendance before the activity starts. So this again will send them an email reminder. You can configure this, I believe, up to 24 hours before the activity. You will likely want the reminder to prompt maybe an hour before your activity starts. The organisers will get an email and they'll be then reminded to manage the activity. And additionally here, there is another publish and promote option. You can leave this checked and this will configure how the activities show on any widgets or embeds on your website should you use those. So once you've gone through the activity create, you will likely have a schedule set up. So this is one that I've set up earlier just to put some bookings on to show you guys how it looks in the register. So you'll have your activity here. As I touched on earlier, if you have scheduled your activity, it's a good reminder here once you've completed the create, just to go through all the dates that have been created, to check your schedule, make sure you're happy with that. You do have use of the date filter above, so the system will restrict the view if you've made many sessions. So you can use the additional date filter here to check further in the future or further in the past for activity dates. So upcoming dates will always show first. If you're coming to manage your activity after the activity has run, if there are no future dates, you can use the date filter to look back for the last 7 days, and the activities that have run here will show from this filter. You'll then have the opportunity to click on each date, and then you have access to the admin bar where you can check your register, you can manage your bookings. If you need to action any refunds, then you have the refund option here. Just going to get the sessions back. So from this page, the activity management and bookings can be checked here. So if you are happy with your schedule, you can then go ahead and your sessions will be promoted here. With the activity create, you have the option to hide your sessions. So as an admin, you can hide the sessions from finders. So as an admin, you'll be able to see the dates. If you have the session hidden, all the activity dates in this series will be taken offline from the finder. This will give you a chance to make any final edits if you aren't completely happy with what you've scheduled. So you feel free to use this if you aren't quite ready to start promoting your sessions. So this allows you to set up beforehand, make sure you're happy with it. If you have different organizers for each day, you can go ahead and edit them individually here. You do have an option as an admin to cancel a session. Again, if you cancel a session, it's no longer bookable. It will keep any bookings that have already been made, so it will keep the booking numbers there. If you do need to cancel an activity date, it will then keep the bookings so you have a chance to reach out and let those providers know. Once you've set your activity up, if you want to make edits generally to all your sessions, you're able to click the edit button here and select all dates. Editing all dates for the activity will allow you to change generic information. You can look to change the schedule, pricing. Nearly all of the options are available to you that are available in Create. There is a big warning in red here. The system will not always edit all your dates. So if you've taken bookings on a date and you look to reduce the number of participants, the system will edit all the sessions that have not taken bookings, and it will do an additional check for sessions that have bookings. So if you're trying to reduce the session size on all your activities, to 10 bookings and you've already taken 15 bookings on one day, the system won't be cancelling 5 bookings for you. So the system will protect the bookings for you. You will need to, if you want to amend that one session that needs to be reduced, you will need to amend the bookings manually. So the system will try to protect sort of some generic errors if you make them with the edits. If you are managing a few number of not many sessions, sorry, it may be easier to edit each date individually. So if you select the date you want to edit, and then you can select the specific date, the edit will be fairly similar to all dates. The only difference being it will only edit individual dates. If you make individual edits to sessions and then you look to edit the series, so if I edit December the 27th specifically, I change the start time. If you then look to edit the series, because December the 27th has been manually edited specifically for that date, the session will skip the 27th. So if I edited the series, it would edit all dates bar the 27th because that has been edited individually. So at any time you make edits, it's always a good suggestion to check through all your dates, some of your dates. Just make sure that they look exactly how you want those. Once you are happy with your scheduling, you've made some edits, you will have the ability to check your registers, download your registers, add and make bookings for users. So if you do need to add a user to a session, you can use the add an invite function here. If the user is already a member of your community, you can search for that member. So typing their name here will allow you to select them. If they haven't already been selected, or you need to add a user that doesn't have an account already, you do have the option to fill in the child and dependents information. Filling this in will check to see if an account exists for the child, and it will let you add them to the session. If an account doesn't exist, the system will make an account for the parent, and the parent will receive a prompt to register. The best way to manage queries, if they do come through, if the parent or user is able to join your community before you add or invite them, it can make it a lot simpler to add them. So the search member function there is the one that will be the quickest for you guys to use. You will then likely, before all sessions, want to view or manage your register. So clicking the register button here will load up all the booking information that you've collected for each user. So I've added some test accounts earlier. You'll have some useful information here, such as the price they've paid. You'll have user information, emergency contact details, everything that the user will fill in the register. And you'll also have the option to download a copy of the register. So if you request an export, it will look similar to this. So on each line will be the booking information, just like you can see in the register. You're obviously able to download this and share that between the teams if it's important to you. Once you are running the session, if you need to manage your bookings as users arrive, you can do this from the book tab. So if you select the user that has arrived, you can change their status to attended, and this will then update on the system. You may want to, throughout the system, you may want to, for your community, select specific information. So you do have an option to use the forms feature. So the active Cornwall network has their own network form set up. So this is the network, and this looks familiar to what your view will be within a community. Your community will have your own community form. So if there is some additional information that you'd like to collect, you can create a new form here, and you'll have the option to add your own properties. So you will see here that in this demo community, there are fields that are locked. So these are set at network. So you won't be able to remove or adjust any fields that are being requested from the network. So the information such as email and additional emergency information, you can't remove that. But if you do have specific information that you'd like to request, you do have the opportunity to create your own properties here. So using the create property, you can title what your question would like to be. So if you need additional information based on the child's lunch, for example, you can create your own property. And then you can create an option for the parent to answer this. So there's a few types of questions or properties that you can use. So if you want the parent to type a response in the box, you can select text. If you only want to let users enter a number, select number. An option list will allow you to create a number of options. So if you have certain types of lunches that you're offering in this example, you can list those here, and the parent will be given a number of options to select from. The same would apply for date, time, and an option list with multi-select will allow a parent to select more than one option from your list. If you are needing a parent to give photo consent, you can use the checkbox option, and this is a simple tick box that you will see when a parent's making a booking. So if this was photographic consent, you would use the checkbox option. And if you do have a link to any privacy policies, you can pop those in here. As soon as you've created the property, once it has been created, you can drag the field across into the form and click save. And then you have an opportunity to preview what the additional form would look like. Equally, if you just want to add some text that parents can see when making the booking, you can drag in a paragraph, and this will give you the opportunity to leave a little bit of text that might be information here. Once you've set that up, you can save the form and preview the form so you can see what that looks like. So you'll see that if you put descriptions there, it can be seen when booking. The forms feature will collect the information for you. You will have access to that throughout the community. So the reporting feature will allow you to report on fields that you collect if they are important to you. Once you have set up your activities, you're taking bookings, you will likely get queries from parents. We do have the activities dashboard feature to hand for you. So within each activity, you can come and view users that have booked. You have access to the registers. You can make your amendments. You can also use the activities feature from the navigation bar to have access to a dashboard view for your community. So if you're running a number of activities, click on activities here, and this will load your activities dashboard. So this will give you more of an eye in the sky view of your community and everything that's running within it. So you'll have two main filters that you will find useful. So you can view all the activities that you have created here. Clicking on the names will take you straight to the activities. This will give you some brief information. You can see how many places that have been booked, how many cancellations you've had. If you are looking at activities that have already run, you can have a look at your attendance numbers, and you'll be able to see the type and the organizer that you set for these activities. If you're having a number of booking queries, you can change the filter to bookings. The child or the parent's name, it should be the child's name if they've booked. You can query here throughout the dashboard, and this will then let you search for the name of the participant, and you'll be able to have a look at the bookings they've made. You can see the status on some bookings, if the user has been removed or added manually. The status notify me should represent the interested list. So if they are marked as notify me, what they have done during the booking process is they've marked themselves interested for a session that is full. So the activities dashboard here will allow you to export your results, so you can pull the results here. This will have the information that you can see here in the dashboard in an export for you, and it does have a link to go and create a session. This is the same link that you can see on your homepage for create activity. So the booking dashboard should be really helpful for you. You have the opportunity to create some custom exports, and this should help you with any queries. You can quickly identify a user's booking. Again, if you click on the activity, it will take you there, and then you can quickly see the booking that they've got there for you to manage. Once your activities have taken place, you do have the option to use the reporting feature. So similar to the activities dashboard, you have the chance to export some brief information. You can use the activity bookings here, the attendances, to also pull some reports that that will be generic for your whole community. These will be similar to the reports that you put in the dashboard, and they can be useful, and the report does show or does separate statuses between booked, attended, cancelled. So you will have access to these as well. Closer to the time of delivery for the Christmas period, we will be introducing again community analytics. So this will be in a slightly different form, but in short, what we'll provide to you is some brief and useful graphs that you'll find useful. So the team have given me some examples for what the design will look like. So the community will have in the navigation bar a link to analytics. Once you click this, it will be specific to your community. So the system will then collate your booking information. If the parents or the users, when they're booking, have filled in information based on gender or demographics or age, the system will generate some useful graphs and guides for you. So a brief example of what this likely will look like is once you open the analytics page, you'll see your community name on this left side. This will all be within the Playwaze site, so you won't need to log in again, but you'll see your community name, and then you'll have a brief view of the analytics dashboard. The graphs that will show will be similar to this. So in this example here, the bookings that you've taken is broken down by age. So you can see that 15% of bookings here was made by 8-year-olds. This will be a community overview for you guys. So there will be some helpful information that you can take from this. You'll have the option to report on gender, and you'll have the option to look at your booked and attended numbers. So within your within your communities, you can see how many people you've got marked as booked, how many users you've had attended. The screen will show, or the graph will show cancelled when you have your view, and then the graphs there should provide you some helpful additional insights to your communities. I know I have been through a lot. I believe that hopefully here this will be helpful. I'm going to pass this back over to Lewis if there's anything specific that you guys want me to run through now. If there's any questions I've answered, if there's anything not been clear, then I'm more than happy to pick that up.
Yeah, no, we haven't had any questions in the chat. So if anyone does have any questions, they do want to put it in into the chat message, then that'd be great. But no, thanks very much for that, Ryan. If we are waiting for any questions, Kelly, just